Welcome to NuttieBuddie Sports.
Okay, let's go to the Minnesota Vikings, Eric. The Minnesota Vikings, they finished 8-9 last year. They were just a game below 500. By the way, I'm going to be on the record of saying that I don't like that it's not an even number of games. I know we'll probably get to 18, but that's just not great to me personally. They added Darius Smith this offseason, Harrison Phillips and Jordan Hicks. They were the key addition. And I don't feel like they lost anyone that important to their team personally. I don't see that. They did draft the Lewis Klein. I think he was the second best safety in the draft. They got Andrew Booth, which was just supposed to be a pretty solid corner. They needed to work on their defense. And I believe that Ingram, I think that is supposed to be one of the better interior linemen of the draft. I'm trying to pull it off of my memory from listening to other podcasts. So if that's the case, Eric, what do you have for the Minnesota Vikings? Stock up, stock down, or stock hold? Just real quick. Also, they added a new head coach in Kevin O'Connell, who did work with Sean McVay, Jim Harbaugh, and other coaches, and has worked with Kirk Cousins before. So Eric, stock up, stock down, or stock hold?
They're my stock hold team. I do not. I don't like Kirk Cousins. I think I've said that multiple times on multiple podcasts. He puts, multiple times anytime we talked about the Vikings, it's one of the first things I say. So I'm 100% never a fan, but it's not that he isn't a good regular season quarterback, and he is a very good regular season quarterback. I just don't think he does enough to get you over the edge that will get you to a Super Bowl. But I do like what the team did. They didn't lose any big additions. I love that they added Zadarius Smith from the Packers. Not only did that weaken an in-division rival, you got better on your defensive line that way. Well, your pass rush, I guess, because he's an outside linebacker. But you got better at your pass rushing, which is never a bad thing. I did like Klein sign Lewis, the safety. He's a safety in the end, but I feel like he'll do just fine replacing, like they lost Xavier Woods. I feel like he'll just fine slipping in that spot. I do like that they tried to help offensive line, and they still got a solid team. I mean, they have talent. It's just that I don't like Kirk Cousins. His record, I believe, is like 89, and not 39, sorry, 89 or something like that in 2. It's like perfect mediocrity his record is, and I just don't like that with him. And it's just, but if I believe they should be a okay team, which is what they were last year. So they still got a lot of talent, but I don't see a huge improvement, and that's mainly because Kirk Cousins is still at the helm at quarterback.
Yeah, so I actually have we're a little disagreement here. I have him a little bit stock up, and the only reason why I'm thinking that getting Mike Zimmer out of the room might help that team, that his voice was probably growing stale in that locker room. He didn't like Kirk Cousins, and I'm not saying he should like him. I kind of feel the same with you, as far as like Kirk Cousins can probably only take you so far, right? He can probably only take you maybe to the playoffs, but everybody would agree that not just Kirk Cousins, but this entire team has underachieved. And there's a reason why that is. And I think it came down to that Mike Zimmer's coaching. It grew a little bit stale. His voice grew stale, and it will make a huge difference if Kevin O'Connell believes in Kirk Cousins. It will make a difference in that locker room versus having a coach that doesn't believe. And I'm with you. I like the defensive additions through the draft and free agency that they made, because their offense is, other than their offensive line, which they need, obviously they got a couple of offensive linemen in draft, and that could help. But other than the offensive line, their offense with Cook, Thielen, and Jefferson, they're going to be good. And I think they can elevate Kirk Cousins to a position where they could be competing for the playoffs this year. So I'm gonna say stock up from them. I feel better about them this year than I did last year. So to recap, Erik, you have it stock hold.
Yep.
I have stock up.
And I do get what you're saying about the coach, because I mean, Mike Zimmer wasn't doing much, but I always get a little nervous about first year head coaches thinking that they're going to make the team better immediately. There's usually a year that it takes for the team to get a little, and it will probably happen. Maybe if he's a really good coach, it could happen sooner than later. We've seen first year head coach have really great impact on teams, but we've also seen where it looks like the team's doing better, but still not putting up wins. And then it doesn't come together until the second year. I do like the direction the Vikings are going outside of their quarterback, but honestly, if you next year, if they continue like the trend of getting better, even if Kirk Cousins is the quarterback, I would probably be like, next year I'd have more hope for their stock going up. I just think new voice, everyone has to learn a new system, both sides, and it's going to be a little bit. I'm not saying that they can't do it, but I just think it's going to that they're going to have a similar year to last year, mainly. But maybe you'll see some improvement. But I just don't like Kirk Cousins.
I don't necessarily. I guess the only saving grace to that, because that's a good point about the coach change. It takes a little bit. Kirk Cousins knows that system because he's played in it before. So at least you have that going for you. But you're right, because the rest of the players kind of have to learn the system now too. So, okay. You want to